All right, so as you can see here, we are in Pragmata, and we have about 28, 30 FPS. Now, this is something that I would just wanted to start the test with to show you how bad it can be, because this game actually runs exceptionally well. So right here, let me jump into these settings here just to show you how we can get this to run really, really well. So we're at 4K. I've tested this at 1440. It can absolutely do 1440, no problem. 4K is, obviously on the table. That's why we're making this video. But yeah, let's come into here and just drop this image quality down to 100%. So this brings it back to a native setting. We're still at 4K. Of course, I've got everything here completely maxed out because this engine runs exceptionally well. You don't really have to pull anything down on this card at 4K to get it to run right. So right here with everything that you see here, we're just going to see if we can beat up on these guys a little bit. There we go. All right, let's see here. Another hack. I'm not going to try to get all of them. I'll mess up and embarrass myself. Oh, yes, let's just go ahead and knock this dude down a little bit. So as you can see, we are pulling about 60 FPS here. And for the most part, everything is running just fine. It's going to run just fine. You don't have anything to necessarily worry about too much at all. These settings are obviously, begging to be upscaled. So we're going to do that now. Let's go ahead and take care of this guy. All right, there we go. So anyway, 60 FPS, all right, with everything completely maxed out, no upscaling, with ray tracing on. So it runs really well. Like, there's nothing to worry about. So let's jump into here and just see what a little upscale can do. As you can see, we are on ray tracing. Path tracing is not available, unfortunately, on this card right now. Maybe they'll add it later. But right now, no frame generation. We're just going to come into here and do a little bit of upscaling if I can get to it. All right, so here's our upscaling. We're going to go over to FSR 3. We are on FSR 4.1 override, so quality gives you a very nice upgrade to your frame pacing. Instead of being around 60, dips down into 50s. You're in 80s now. So again, this is a really well-running title. You don't have anything necessarily to worry about. Go ahead and hit him real quick with that. Hit him again. I'm out of ammunition, so I just have to kind of rail on this dude here. There we go. I think we got him. All right, cool. So yeah, let's just keep running through this area here. 4K with ray tracing on at quality. You are looking at 82 FPS with 1% lows around 63. All right, let's just keep on going here. Let's keep this test relatively simple. I'm just going to show you how it scales up with these different settings, and then maybe jump into like some frame generation and run through them again. But yeah, we're at 95 here, so everything does look like we're going to be in pretty good shape with this card. See if I can get some guys to spawn out of these things. They typically will. There they are. Buddies, there we are. All right, I have no weapons. There we go. Dodge that real quick. All right, there we go. He's done. Okay, cool. Anyway, got some ammo over here I can grab. Nice. Okay, so let's just keep on rolling through it and see what all we can expect if we just kick it over to performance. And that's going to really give us a lot of frames. You're going to be okay there. Now, FSR 4.1, ignore FSR 3. We are upgraded to FSR 4.1. But yeah, we are at 100 FPS here. It still looks exceptionally clean. So if you're after about 100 FPS, this is a pretty good starting point, maybe with some frame generation. We'll check it out in a second. But yeah, if we just keep running through here, we were going to go do a little exploring in this area. This is kind of where I started. So let's come around here and get into some more fights, go pick some battles here. So let's see, here's where we're gonna go. Let's bring stasis net up so we can freeze these guys. There we go. No, I'll leave riot blaster there because I need some ammo later, so there we go. All right, got him. Very nice. Gonna bring this dude up here. All right. And let's finish him off. All right, there we go. So performance looks good on 4K with ray tracing, so we are all good there. And let's jump over here. It's so nice to test a game with ray tracing on AMD hardware that doesn't like, oh, it's got ray tracing, so you have to make all these sacrifices. You know, you just play the game. It's very nice. Very, very good to see it. All right, so we are here. Let's jump over to get these set up here. All right, so we made it up there. Let's fight this dude. All right, before we kind of close it out here. All right, so this dude is gone. There we go. All right, so let's just keep on rolling here. Let's jump over and kick on some frame generation. All right, so we're going to go to frame gen, but we're going to bring it back up to quality and then kick that frame generation on. So this will be frame gen through all the various different upscalings. So right here you got 182 FPS with 2x frame gen on. I mean, it's running really, really well. There's nothing to be disappointed about here. They did a fantastic job. The engine proves to be very reliable. No crashes, no stutters. Everything has felt really good so far as I've played it. So if you're worried about that, don't. It's a really well-running title. All right, so let's just jump over here and see what we can expect with a little bit more upscaling at these settings here. All right, so let's see here. Let's come over here and go into the upscaling and go to balance. This is balance with a 2x. I'm pretty sure these guys are going to come up. I don't think I've beaten them yet, or they wouldn't be here. Let's see here. Maybe I have. I've been in here before. All right, let's just run around here. So yeah, this looks good. 168 FPS with 2x frame gen. Well, that's your only option with AMD right now at the moment. But yeah, we've got everything looking solid. All right, so let's come into here. Go back out to this other area with some of that nice lighting. All right, so we are back out in this open area. This is a little bit harder to run, so I like to kind of go through it. You're not closed off so much. So let's jump over here and see what the next level of upscaling looks like, which will be performance. So performance with a 2x gives you right around, get my 1% lows back, gives you right around 166 FPS here. So again, you're not really too concerned with these settings. If I had to say so, you're going to be okay. So 150 out here. All right, so let's go with a little bit more upscaling before we call it a day, because this is it's running really well. I think this is going to be a really good game long term. Some of the reflections are a little bit I guess smeary, but other than that, if you keep your upscaling to a minimum, that does improve a little bit. So right here at 150, 162 FPS, these upscaling settings don't really do a whole lot. I would personally just keep it, no need to do any sort of frame generation, and leave that on quality. All right, so the frame generation is, in my opinion, not really needed, and leave it on that quality with everything maxed out, and you're at a 85 FPS. All the different reflections and stuff look a lot better. So you really don't have to throw a lot of technology at this thing to get it to run well. They've done a really good job. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I've got join links down there if you have the means. It's extremely cheap. It just helps me out a little bit. And, drop a like on this video if you liked it. It helps the video get a little bit more traction and gets it out there further and faster for me. So if you could do that, just click a few buttons. That would be wonderful. I appreciate it, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Peace.